What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown for UFC Vegas 18, and as always, we're going to talk about this card strictly from a betting perspective, not going to get into much of a breakdown. If you do want to see why I'm betting each fighter, why I am picking each fighter, I did do a full card breakdown and prediction video that is out. I did a live stream that is also out as well, going into more detail on why I like what fighter and all that good stuff. So go check that out if you have not. If you have, here we go. Ready to bounce back from a kind of tough card to UFC 257. And what I noticed is in 2021, we've had a couple cards so far. Man, all these favorites are losing. Lots of big, giant favorites dropping the ball. And what do we have here on this card? A lot of big, giant favorites. So I'd be kind of weary on the parlays, for the time being. Really pick your spots carefully, and that's what I kind of did on this card. Lots of very tempting parlay pieces, but, the best thing is probably to pass on a lot of these fights. But, yeah, I want to say I have 5 bets to talk about. I'm just thinking about adding maybe 1 or 2 more. If I do, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'll be posting all my action on there on fight day. Also on Patreon, all my bets are on there as well. I have an article out, a Hail Mary bet as well on there. We'll kind of talk about some Hail Mary parlay pieces and all that on this video. But, yeah, let's get into it here, starting with the first fight of the night, Jerome Rivera versus Osbourne. I like Osbourne here. Just not impressed with Rivera whatsoever. Kind of going back and looking at the career of Osbourne, I see that he is taken down a decent amount of times, but he is really good off his back, has multiple submissions off his back as well. The problem with Rivera is he has 0 wrestling. To get it there, he's really a submission guy. He's 0 for 10 on takedowns thus far in the UFC. On the feet, I do favor Osbourne. I do think that he probably could be a bigger favorite here. Not touching the minus 210 personally. If I was to bet this, which I'm not, I'd probably take a look at the plus 135 inside the distance prop for Osbourne. But this is just probably a total pass for me. 2 lower level fighters. Osbourne, I think he has the higher ceiling between the two by a decent margin, but still very green. But I feel like this fight does finish. Maybe take a look at the under 2.5, but this is a fight I really want no action on. First fight of the night. Should be a decent fight though, but kind of low level. Want to stay away here. Next, we have Seungwoo Choi versus Yusuf Zalal, and I'm very tempted on the Seungwoo Choi side. I just think this line's way too wide. I feel like Zalal should be like a really slight favorite, or this should be a complete pick'em here. And why I think that is, I think the striking is going to be a lot closer than people think. Choi's a legit striker. We just haven't seen that. He's fought Movsar Evloev, was able to take him down. Gavin Tucker, a legit black belt, was submitting him. So he's fought like really good competition, 1 and 2 in the UFC, but I mean, he's fighting great guys. So in this fight, I do think Zalal has a clear path to victory, and that's getting the takedowns. I just don't know if he will be able to do that against Jordan Griffin, somebody that doesn't have the best takedown defense. I kind of saw Zalal struggle to get Jordan Griffin down. Kind of a bad sign there. He kind of struggled with the size of Jordan Griffin, and Choi's a big dude. Choi's absolutely jacked. If you watch the weigh-ins, this dude's huge, jacked. Going to have the size advantage here, and if Zalal is not able to get him down, which I really don't think he does, I feel like this is going to be kind of a 50-50 fight on the feet. So have not bet it yet. I'm looking hard at it. Maybe even Choi by decision plus 385. I don't see either fighter getting finished here. I think the over 2.5 is a good bet as well, but I'm really looking hard at that Choi. If not, probably going to pass, especially Zalal minus 245 is just insane to me. So definitely think he's overvalued there, and it should be a lot closer towards a pick'em, honestly. Next, we have Molly McCann versus Laura Procopio, and this is a fight I've been debating, going back and forth on all week, and not on who to pick, but on if I wanted to bet Laura Procopio or not. And the more I look into it, the more I really like the Procopio side here. Molly McCann is somebody who I believe is overrated. I really do. I mean, looking at who she's beat, Diana Belbita, Ariana Lipski, fighters like that. Who was the other one? Lipski, Belbita, and Priscilla Ketchabeating. So those are her 3 wins in the UFC, just not great caliber fighters at all that she's beating, and when she fights anybody of somewhat relevance, she's losing. She lost to Jillian Robertson by sub. She lost to Tyler Santos, got beat from start to finish in that fight. And taking a look at Procopio in her UFC debut against Kale Arroza, and I thought of Procopio as like a grappler, because that's what she is. She's a grappler. That's her bread and butter. She's a black belt in BJJ, but she went out there and she won 2 rounds at least on one of the judges' scorecards, she won 2 rounds out of 3 for Rosa. A judge actually scored the fight for her, which I didn't agree with, but she landed like 160, 170 significant strikes on Karol Rosa. So someone who's strictly a grappler, I thought she actually showed some good volume, some good hands, and I feel like if this fight plays out on the feet, it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I do give Molly the slight advantage striking, but even then I think it's going to be close. I mean, Molly McCann's somebody that let Priscilla catch a beating, like tee off on her, almost finished her in that fight due to a doctor stoppage. I remember that Molly McCann's eye swelled up. The doctor came in, just about stopped the fight, and I don't know. I feel like this fight should be either lined with Procopio as a slight favorite or at least a pick 'em. I mean, if this fight hits the mat in any type of way, Procopio is going to have a massive advantage down there. Like I said, black belt and BJJ. And looking throughout Molly McCann's fights, she takes fights to the mat more than not. So I feel like McCann, she will probably go for takedowns here. But if she does that, she's only playing with fire, as Procopio is the much better grappler. We've seen McCann submitted before. So I do have a bet on Procopio. I got her at I got her at plus 125, and I have 1 unit on her at plus 125 there against Molly McCann. Kind of missed out on the line a little bit. I kind of waited a little bit to pull the trigger, but after looking into it all week, I just like it more and more that I look into it. I think she has multiple paths to victory. Sub for Procopio plus 725 is not a bad spot to look. It did open up like plus 950, which I would have liked a little bit more. But I'm just going to play her straight. I'm going to take a shot on the dog there in Procopio. But this is women's MMA. I feel like it's going to be a close fight back and forth. But yeah, give me that dog money on Procopio here in what should be a close fight. Karol Rosa versus Jocelyn Edwards. I do lean with Karol Rosa, but not minus 245. That could be a little bit steep. Why I like Rosa, I think she's going to have an advantage in the wrestling grappling. I've seen Jocelyn Edwards taken down like 10 times by Sarah Alpar. Alpar was able to control her a decent amount of that fight that they fought in. And Karol Rosa is, believe it or not, a black belt in BJJ. I don't know if it's a legit black belt because she's been submitted twice, but she's a black belt nonetheless. She showed in her Vanessa Mello fight that she can go out there and get takedowns, and I kind of see that happening here. I think the striking could be very close, although Rosa is going to be throwing a ton of volume. That's what she does, and Edwards does slow down as the fight goes on, so I do think the volume is going to be too much for Jocelyn Edwards there, and I do think that Rosa is going to be able to work in the takedowns, the clinch game, be the bigger fighter, not the taller fighter or the more lengthy fighter, but the thicker fighter as she is. So I think she'll be the stronger fighter as well. So give me Rosa here, probably by decision. Yeah, not touching the minus 245, but it probably is passing here. Devonte Smith versus Justin James. So some important things to note here is this is going to be at a catch weight of 160 pounds. Devonte Smith, big favorite, minus 300. I totally get it. Justin James, I watched an interview with him saying that he did not do much training, if any training at all. He said he's been nursing some injuries. And taking a look at the weigh-ins, I mean, he didn't look all that great. He does not look ready. And Justin James is somebody that, on a full training camp, his gas tank's not all that there. So that tends for me to believe that he has like a couple minutes to finish this fight. And he very well could. He did it against Frank Camacho, came in there on like a couple days short notice, was able to knock out Camacho in 20 seconds. And yeah, that could happen here. It absolutely could. But I do think Devonte Smith, with that 8-inch reach advantage, being prepared for this fight, is going to play dividends for him. But if you're looking for an underdog that will fight for your money, or if you're looking for a Jane's first round prop, I mean, that's something to look at if the price is right. But I'm totally passing on this fight. I really do like the under 1.5. It is juiced to like minus 170. That's the way to look at it. A little bit too steep for me, but that's something I really do like. I just feel like James does not have the cardio to get into the later rounds whatsoever, and I feel like if he does win, it's going to be in the first couple. So if you're on the James side, look at the first round prop for James. Other than that, probably a smart fight to pass on, but I feel like someone's getting finished in that fight, I'll tell you that. And as for my Hail Mary parlay, the minus 425 fight doesn't go to decision will definitely be in that. Smith, 100% finish rate, and we all know if Justin James wins, it's going to be inside the distance. So yeah, I really do like that minus 425. If you're looking for a safe parlay piece, safe-ish parlay piece, I think that's somewhere to look. Tamir Valiev, Martin Day, another parlay piece I like. Valiev minus 370, and I just think he's the much better fighter here. Martin Day 0-3 in the UFC. He's been finished in 2 out of his 3 wins. It's whether do I think Valiev's going to finish Day or take it to decision. Valiev, not the biggest finisher in the world, but we have seen Day, like I said, submitted before in the UFC, knocked out before in the UFC as well by one Davy Grant, which is interesting there. But yeah, Valiev should get it done. Don't mind him as a parlay piece. I will have him in my Hail Mary. I just think he's the much better fighter pretty much anywhere the fight goes. Is Day live? I mean, I guess he is. We've seen Valiev knocked out as a big favorite in his last fight against Trevin Jones, but he was dominating all that fight up until he got caught. It happens. People get caught. But Day does need a knockout probably to win this fight. So give me Valiev to win. If you're on the Day side, I guess take a look at the plus 1,160 for Day by knockout. I think that's his one path to victory. So if you're on the Day side, look at that. But I really do think Valiev should get it done. But parlay piece for me. Hail Mary parlay piece for me. Mike Rodriguez versus Danilo Marquez. Yeah, this is a fight that Mike Rodriguez should absolutely win. Marquez could very well be the worst fighter in the UFC, and he beat Khadis Ibragimov, somebody who is 0-3 in the UFC, in one of the ugliest fights I've ever seen in my life. Both guys, no cardio, looked awful in that fight, but he was able to get a win there, which was an okay win, I guess. But this Marquez guy, he has no striking, he has no wrestling, he has no cardio, and Mike Rodriguez is not somebody to have great cardio, but I do think he has the better cardio in this matchup here, which is saying a lot, because Marquez's cardio is so bad, and typically his Rodriguez is there. So as for this fight goes, I think Rodriguez should definitely get a knockout in the first round. Rodriguez has a 100% finish rate. Marquez has been knocked out before. He does not like being hit. No striking defense. No striking whatsoever. But how do you beat Mike Rodriguez? You take him down. You grapple him. So Marquez does have a path to victory. It's just I don't think he's that great. So give me Mike Rodriguez here. I do have him in a parlay, but I do have him in a parlay with somebody on the next card, and that is Kamaru Usman. I got it at minus 106, 2 units on that. Obviously, I did this like a week and a half ago, because I did not like any of the other parlay pieces on the card, but as we know, the card changed tremendously. As of now, I probably would have done like a Stamann and a Rodriguez as a nice parlay there, but I'm fine with Usman on that parlay. We'll kind of talk about it next week though, but I do have that parlay, 2 units on that, minus 106, Usman and Mike Rodriguez. Next, we have Michael Johnson, minus 225, opened up minus 245, and then Clay Guida opened up plus 185, currently sitting at plus 185 as well. Yeah, I mean, Michael Johnson should absolutely win this fight. This is a fight where I think that he should absolutely look minus 500, minus 1,000 even in this fight. But the problem with Michael Johnson is I went back and watched a lot of his fights. This guy's winning fights up until he, makes a big mistake, gets knocked out, gets submitted in the Darren Elkins fight. Looked fantastic. Next round got taken down, submitted against Josh Emmett. Looked fantastic in all 3 rounds, basically, up until the last couple minutes of the fight. Got knocked out. Thiago Moises looked fantastic in the first round. Second round gets taken down, submitted. And then Stevie Ray looked fantastic in the first couple rounds. Got taken down in the third round. Dominated in that third round by Stevie Ray. So you just can't trust the guy. I see a lot of people taking a shot on Clay Guida at plus money. I don't hate it. I don't hate it because Michael Johnson is to not be trusted whatsoever. And Clay Guida has a path to victory, I guess. I mean, it's taken Johnson down, controlling him on the mat. Maybe Guida gets his first submission since like 2011. Johnson has been submitted 5 times. Guida by submission plus 1240. Yeah, this is the biggest pass on the card probably for me. I don't want anything to do with this fight. Michael Johnson's untrustworthy. If you want to take a shot on Guida, go for it. I don't hate you for it. If you want to take a shot on the Guida sub prop, I don't hate you for it. But just a big pass for me. All right, Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush. Yeah, this is the toughest fight on the card to call, in my opinion. I'm really struggling to pick a winner here. If I had to pick one way, I would lean Diego Ferreira, but man, this is such a close fight. Dariush, I'm a big fan of the dude. I'm a big fan of both guys. Both guys on big winning streaks. Ferreira's going to have the output advantage. He's going to have the durability advantage. He's going to have probably a gas tank advantage as well. Dariush, probably the wrestling advantage, the power advantage. It's just so 50-50 to me. So to be confident on either side is kind of crazy in my opinion. But a lot of people are betting on this fight. I see a lot of people, on either side here. I'm going to pass. I'm going to sit back and watch it as a fan. This could possibly be fight of the night here, but I'm going to slightly lean Ferreira, I guess. But, man, this is just a fight I want to sit back and watch. Cody Stamann, Askar. Askar does not look bad, but he's coming in here on a couple days short notice, which is not a great sign against somebody in Cody Stamann who is legit. Great wrestler, great takedown defense. I like Stamann. Probably throw him in a Hail Mary parlay. He is getting up there in a price, so I think minus 485. So getting kind of steep there, but he really should win this fight. Stamann is a big decision guy. Minus 140 for Stamann by decision is not bad, although he did come out in an interview saying that he wanted to get a finish here. I don't really buy it, but if you do think he gets that finish, plus 250 inside the distance for Stamann. I'm staying away here. Like I said, I'll throw Stamann in a Hail Mary parlay. He very well should get this done, but no official bet on it. Alexander Pantoja versus Manel Kape. And this really, really confuses me because Pantoja, I actually bet him last week. I have him at minus 120. I have 1.2 units on him. And I see a lot of people around the industry, a lot of really sharp guys, and most sharp guys that I know and talk to, they're on Pantoja as well. I don't see many people on Kape. Like, maybe some of the public's on Kape. There's some hype on him. But even then, I see a lot of Pantoja love. And the line's like closing in. I think the line might flip here. Maybe somebody knows something that I don't or we don't. But Kape is now minus 105 and Pantoja is now minus 115. So the line is closing up here. I did see Pantoja at like minus 140 at one point, but lots of money coming in on Kape. And yes, there's a lot of hype around this guy. But man, Pantoja has such a clear path to victory. And if you did not watch tape on this fight, I really do encourage you to go look at Kape's losses. He has 4 of them. And a lot of those losses, he's getting taken down. He's getting controlled. I wouldn't say he's a fish out of water on the mat, but he really doesn't have much to offer on the mat. He gets taken down. He's been submitted before as well. And Pantoja, if you know anything about Pantoja, is this guy's grappling is legit black belt. This guy's grappling is amazing. It's just he doesn't use it as much as he should. He gets in kind of these firefights, and Pantoja is somebody that's beat Brandon Moreno twice. He lost kind of a close fight to Davison Figueiredo, back and forth fight there. So he's fighting the best of the best here, and Kape has fought some good competition, but nothing like Pantoja has at this level. So I do like Pantoja here. The line movement kind of sketches me out because I see everybody on Pantoja, lots of sharp guys as well. I see not many people on Kape whatsoever, but the line is closing up. But just because of Pantoja having such a clear, evident path to victory of taking this to the mat, I'm going to take the shot at minus 120 all day there. It's just, will he use that path to victory? I don't know. I can't fight the fight for him. I'm not in his corner, so I don't know if he will. He does like getting in brawls and stuff. But Kape's path to victory is getting a knockout. That's getting a knockout. He has a 93% finish rate. He's a finisher. Has finished his last 3 fights. But the big thing to note here for Pantoja is he's never been knocked out, and he's fought killers such as Davison Figueiredo. So I don't know. Could Kape be the first person to knock out Pantoja? I think that'd be insane. But yeah, he could. But man, I'm going to take that minus 120 shot. But like I said, that line is sketching me out just a tad. All right, and then co-main event, Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar. Pick Sandhagen, but I mean, minus 400 is just insane. Edgar has a clear path to victory. That is using the takedowns. Sandhagen, 30% takedown defense. Leaving this one out of my Hail Mary parlays. But I think the striking is going to be a big difference here. But man, it kind of sketches me out. If I was to bet on this fight, it'd probably be the Edgar side because clear path to victory. Go out there and get takedowns, hold Sandhagen down. But I got to go Sandhagen here. Edgar's 39 years old. Sandhagen should get the better of the striking by a decent margin. Hopefully he's improving that takedown defense. That's, like I said, 30%. But just a sketchy favorite here at minus 400. I think it's a little insane. But I do think he wins. I was looking at Sandhagen kind of by KO, plus 250. Edgar has been knocked out twice, kind of on the chinny side at this point of his career. But yeah, gonna pass here, especially at the minus 400. And then finally we have Alexander Volkov versus Alistair Overeem. And this is a fight where I have 2 bets, and I'll tell you right now, I have Alexander Volkov by KO TKO plus 130. I have 1 unit on that. And then I have the over 1.5 rounds, minus 172 units on that. That's like minus 210 now, which I still think is good, but really beat the line movement on that one. I love that bet. As we know, we've seen Overeem in the past couple fights, kind of going to the later rounds. Same thing with Volkov going into the later rounds there. I do expect this to reach the later rounds as well. But as far as this fight, I posted a couple breakdowns about it. You can kind of go check those out. But I like the Volkov side. Overeem's somebody that's been knocked out 14 times. Obviously, really chinny, if not one of the chinniest fighters I've ever seen. But he's been on a run as of late. He really has. I don't want to get too much breakdown on it, but basically, I think Volkov has a lot of things that are different between the guys that Overeem has been beating as of late, and one of those things is cardio, which is big. Walt Harris did not have great cardio. Sakai did not have great cardio. And then another thing is output. Volkov lands just under 5 significant strikes per minute, which is huge. I don't like what Overeem's doing as of late with the shell-up defense going back to the cage, letting opponents tee off on him up until his opponent's gas. And yes, that'll work on Walt Harris. somebody that has half a round of gas tank, or if that'll work on a Sakai, somebody that doesn't have a gas tank. But against Volkov, he can tee off on you all day, throw 100, 200 significant strikes, not get tired, go the full 25. Overeem's path to victory is obviously getting a takedown, and I think he could, but Blades wasn't able to get Volkov out of there. Where Doom was able to get Volkov out of there. Could Overeem? Maybe. But if he doesn't, he's going to be really, really tired. I mean, Volkov makes you work to get those takedowns, and he's pretty decent off his back as well. So, yeah, give me Volkov by knockout. I'm sure a ton of people are going to be on Overeem. That's completely fine. Everybody loves Overeem. Absolute legend. Great storyline as well. He wants to get back to the title. That's awesome. Nobody likes Volkov. Not a big name. Kind of a boring fighter, boring heavyweight. But yeah, give me Volkov here. Obviously, it'd be nice to see Overeem win, but I don't know. I think it's a good matchup for Volkov. I really do. So give me Volkov for the win. I have a bet by knockout. Like I said, plus 130, 1 unit on that. So I'll quickly go through my bets. I have 5 of them. Alexander Pantoja, minus 120, 1.2 units on that. Laura Procopio, plus 125, 1 unit on that. Overeem versus Volkov, over 1.5 rounds. I like that line a lot. Minus 170, 2 units on that. Volkov wins by a KO, TKO, plus 130, 1 unit on that. And then Mike Rodriguez parlayed with Kamaru Usman for next card, minus 106, 2 units on that. That'll probably be it. I'm taking a hard look at Choi. As for parlay pieces, I really like Stamann. I really like Valiev. I really like the Smith and James fight. Doesn't go to decision. That might be a potential parlay. If not, it's for sure going to be on the Hail Mary. And yeah, really looking forward to bounce back from a tough card in UFC 257. I'm feeling pretty good about my spots and hopefully making some money. So good luck, guys. You know where to reach me. Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'll be posting my final bets on there if I do add anything. And good luck on UFC Vegas 18.